Today I have a special one for you. I'm gonna be playing games against 1000 to 1800. We're gonna climb the ladder. Let's play someone here who's 1155. He starts with e4. Okay, and here we're gonna play the caro-kann defense. We're gonna play with c6 and c6 and d5, and this is the caro-kann defense. He's playing the advanced variation here, and the main move here is to play with bishop f5. I think is perfectly fine. The idea is that you're gonna play with e6 and c5 to try to break actually this structure. When he plays this move, there is some venom to it. You have to be careful to not play a move like e6, otherwise he plays g4, bishop e4, f3, bishop g6, h5, and you lose the bishop, so don't do this. I like to play moves like this. So if he plays g4, I go back on c8, and now I damage his structure on the king side, and I will play e6 after actually he does it. So, and then you're gonna tell me like, man, what are you doing? You just played bishop f5 and now you go back to c8. Yes, but the only thing that I created is I created two weaknesses. And then I can play e6, c5, knight c6. I'm gonna be attacking here. The queen will come on b6. This is how I'm gonna play in this game. Usually I think g4 is a little bit premature because now he has a problem with his king, but most likely he's gonna put it on the king side, on the queen side by long castling. All right, so we can see that this guy is really on the attack mode. So as I said, I'm gonna defend the d5 pawn by playing e6. Now he should play maybe knight c3. There is no real reason to actually take on c4 here. I mean, I don't see the point. You wait for this bishop to move and then you take on c4. So he has to move the bishop again. Usually that's what we do. And now you can take, and you see that he's losing a tempo because he has to take the pawn on c4 again with his bishop that he just moved once. You know, bishop b4 is possible. Knight d7 is possible, knight e7 is possible, queen a5, queen b6. There is a lot of plans, but I would go for, there is also h5, that is something that you can consider. I would go with knight e7 here. Knight e7 is going to be important to control this square and also to control this one when this one moves. To have the knight that can actually jump to f5 to put pressure on d4. When he's here, he's going to put pressure here. So now, as we said, queen b6, because there was a very unpleasant pin here. And we can attack basically here. We're also threatening something like queen b4, even though he has knight d2, which is defending the bishop. The guy's playing well. I mean, for 1100, he's playing very well. Let's hope he's not cheating. Let's hope so. And yeah, I mean, at some point we're going to be playing with c5. Then maybe the knight is going to come on c6. The problem in our opening is this bishop on c8. We need to find a way to actually play with this one. Sorry, that was a terrible arrow. But yeah, we can play like this and like this. Once this one basically goes on c5, this is a way that you can play. All right, he's taking a lot of time to play. I'm playing 15 minutes per player because I couldn't find any other player. So, okay, so this is an accuracy, for instance. Why? Because it's weakening all these squares, basically. You see, once the pawn advanced, this square on c3 becomes a target. You know, I could just play a move like knight d5, so I don't allow him to play knight c3. And to be honest, if he gives me the bishop, I'm pretty happy about it. You know, I take with this pawn, and then I have knight c6. This one will come on b4 check, etc., etc. For instance, now, I mean, my main move is going to be bishop b4 next, which is going to be a check on the king. Our position with black here when you play the caro-kann is pretty solid, really. Now he has to fix basically this problem. Because he pushed, okay, he had other ways to actually defend this pawn, because yes, I was attacking it, but he could play something like queen d2, for instance. That is a move that was fine. On bishop b4, he had knight c3. So it's fine, he's not losing the queen. But I would say that, okay, our plan is pretty simple. It's going to be c5, but don't play c5 very early. Don't open the center when your king is in the center as a rule. This is what you should have in mind. And yeah, we could even play moves like bishop e7. He has to be careful because we threaten to take. And yeah, now he has a problem because, for instance, he cannot play knight d2. Because now d4 is attacked by my queen and his queen is not defending d4 anymore. So he has to be careful. Maybe he has to play a move like knight e2 here. Okay, so he's going totally bananas. So, obviously, that's a little bit too much. He's a little bit overdoing it because, as you can see here, I mean, the king is really well open now. And we can basically start to, you know, jump our pieces. For instance, by pushing f4, the problem is that the pawn here was guarding it, basically the square. It's not anymore. So I see that already I can play this and take this bishop that is a good piece. That's the first move that I can play. And by playing knight e3 is also attacking basically the pawn on g4. Also, you have moves like bishop b4 check. That could be interesting. He plays knight d2, for instance, if he still wants to castle one day. And maybe now knight e3. I like this. So let's go with bishop b4. And if he plays knight d2, I will play knight e3. So he has to guard this, because when I come here with the knight, I'm targeting knight c2 check with a nice little fork for us. You see how just playing a move like b3 and f4, I mean, these are clear mistakes, because you should think about developing your pieces first and then actually damage your... Let me give you a principle. The pawn moves that you make in the opening are made only if they facilitate basically the movement of your pieces. It's like a support for your pieces. If you have a pawn move that doesn't do any of this, that doesn't support your pieces, then you shouldn't play it. And you should play basically, you should play a piece instead. You should develop your pieces because they are more powerful on the center of the board. Now he decided to play this. Obviously not the best move, because now he cannot castle, he has the king in the center. We can already play a move like knight c3, and we're winning material, because it's forking these two. So he has to take with the knight, I take with the bishop, and now I'm attacking the rook and the pawn on d4. Okay, that's one way to play. I'm just trying to find something better here. There is something better. Try to find it. There is a move that wins clear material here. The move is h6. If I play h6, where is this bishop going? You see, but just playing a move like f4, the bishop basically cannot retreat. You know, too many pawn moves in the opening. I mean, it's a big problem. So I'm going to play h6. Let's see how he reacts to this. Most likely he can play something like a3 here, targeting this one, but I would have knight c3 check. And now if knight take knights, bishop takes. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if he plays a move like a3, I play knight c3. Knight takes c3, bishop takes c3. Attacking this, he plays rook c1 and bishop take d4. And now I'm attacking g1 as well. Maybe I can play moves like bishop f2, queen e3. That's possible. But all in all, I mean, okay, so he's going totally crazy. So I'm not sure exactly what this move is. I mean, he's thinking, okay, if I don't see that that the bishop is attacked, then he's going to retreat the bishop. But that, yeah. So we're just going to take the piece that is given to us. So you see how just by moving pieces, pawns too early in the opening, you find yourself in this kind of trouble. Now he's taking on e6. Obviously, you don't want to take with the pawn. Why would you do something like this? If you take with this pawn, then this square becomes a danger. He can play something like, you know, queen c2, for instance, and targeting queen g6 check. You just take with the bishop. It does two things. One, you develop a piece, right? The bishop on e6 now is amazing. Also, you're targeting basically g4 here. So he has too many targets. Okay, so he resigned. All right, so that was the first game. All right, so you see what happened in this game. He started well, no problem. This, h4 is a good move. And when I play a6 and he goes for g4, g4 is, I mean, is a little bit aggressive, but it's not the end of the world. I go back to c8. Now he's starting c4, is fine. And now bishop d3. Bishop d3 is already not very accurate because, as you can see, I'm winning a tempo by doing this. Instead of bishop d3, here he could play something like knight c3 is a better move because he's not losing a tempo against it and he's developing a piece, right? And then something like knight f3, bishop e2, etc., and trying to actually put the king, you know, long or short castle. Short castle is a little bit challenging here. Okay, when he goes here, he's losing a tempo already. And as you can see in his position, you already have like some sort of, you know, very weak squares. d5, you should spot it straight away. There is no more pawn here. If I put a piece on d5, there is no more pawn that can bother my piece. So I have what we call a blockade. I block this pawn. and I'm in the center of the chessboard. That's really, really amazing to put a knight basically on d5. Okay, so I go knight e7, bishop g5, and now I unpin by actually winning a tempo. You see, I'm thinking about the tempo all the time. I'm winning a tempo on the b2 square, right? He goes b3, and I go knight d5. You know, he has the bishop pair. I'm not too happy about it. I mean, I would love to actually get one bishop. So if he does this, I'm fine, right? Now f4. f4 is a big mistake because he's thinking about pushing his pawns before developing his pieces. And you see how the game went very fast. h6 and losing a piece. Bishop takes, and you have too many problems here. I'm threatening knight f4 check. This one he cannot take because rook takes rook, for instance. Too many things. Too many problems in this position. Okay, let's try to find someone else. So, who is here? Let's try to take someone who's a little bit stronger than this. Let's try to take someone who's around maybe 1400, something like this. Okay, this is a 5 minutes game, so I'm gonna have to be very fast. This guy is 15-11. Okay, he's playing e6. It's a good move because he's leaving all the options possible and he's avoiding the Trompovsky. I cannot play bishop g5 anymore here. Okay, I develop my pieces, knight f3. Okay, so now I can decide to play e4, I can decide to play c4. One of these two moves. It depends what kind of openings you play. I'm gonna play like Queen's Gambit sort of style. Now knight c3. You see what I'm doing? I'm just developing my pieces, and now he's playing like a sort of system which is the Slav system. You have different ways to play. You can play bishop f4. You can play with e3. You can play queen c2, for instance, and you can even play like g3 and bishop g2 here. I'm just gonna play bishop f4. Bishop d6, sure. And now I want to play this. If he takes, most likely I'm going to take with the pawn here. I don't want him to actually play knight f6. This is what I didn't want. And now I'm going to play e4. It's a blitz game, and I'm already like almost 1 minute down. So I'm trying to explain. Knight takes, so we're targeting knight d6 check here. You see, when the dark square bishop disappears from the board, there is a lot of issues. Okay, so what do we do here? This, I'm thinking straight away how to attack this. Maybe something like knight d2, knight e4, and also if I put the knight on d2, maybe I can play queen f3, targeting this. Yeah, but that doesn't work because knight take e5 here. So that doesn't work. Okay. I'm gonna try something else. I'm just gonna develop my pieces then. Bishop d3 I think is perfectly fine. Usually, you know, when he has like mistakes like this that he made that he can't castle, you don't have to go too fast and try to actually just mate the guy in few moves. This is a mistake that we make. You don't have to. All right, let's try here. Now he's targeting knight take e5, by the way, because knight takes and queen take d6. I have to be careful about this. Just gonna play this. Then I'm gonna play, you know, because this pawn is super important. It's bothering him a lot. He's controlling amazing squares. So I'm just gonna play rook e1. And now I'm just gonna, can I come back? Knight take e5, knight takes, knight take d6, knight take f7. Oh, look at this. He cannot take on e5 because, okay, we're gonna do it. Knight take e5 and queen take d6, knight take f7. It's fork. If king takes, oh, amazing. Bishop g6 check, and now we're winning the queen. Very nice combinations for you guys. Okay, so the game is over, but you saw that he didn't follow the principles. What was the problem in this game? Let me show you. The problem in this game was, so I just play normal moves. He plays c6, a little bit too much. I mean, this move, you can see is slow. You would rather actually just develop a piece instead of playing h6. I don't know what h6 is achieving here. And remember, from now on, whenever you play a pawn move in the opening, it means that there is no better piece move in the opening. Or the pawn move is just It's just helping basically pieces to be developed and to be more harmonious, okay? Otherwise, no pawn moves. Just forget them, all right? I would say like 4 or 5 pawn moves in the openings is already too much. Okay, so he plays this. So we develop pieces. Look at his position. He did this. We developed all these pieces. And you see, this is the issue here. And he goes like this. Now I'm taking with the pawn. I'm not even sure this is the best move, by the way. But in blitz, I like it. If he takes on c4, I take the queen and then maybe long castle. We check. So I like it. And also, you know, it allows me to attack with e4. And also with the pawn here, he cannot play the natural move, which is knight f6. And also the pawn here, it has another, I mean, the other reason why this pawn is annoying for him is that he's blocking this one. And if he's blocking this one, it means he's blocking this one. So, you know, that's the reason why I played it. I'm not even sure if it's the best move, but I think it's decent. Okay, this is the biggest mistake of the game, I think, is when he takes here. When he takes, what he's doing is opening the d file for me. And now the knight comes on e4 and has an amazing square on d6, and he cannot do anything about it. So he should have thought, if I take on e4 and knight takes, I cannot control this square. And yeah, usually this kind of mistakes, I mean, is almost enough to actually win the game. All right? And here, don't make the mistake to try to just, you know, win the game very fast. The fact that he has this at home is already enough for you to win. It will come. Look, the tactic came, but it comes when your pieces are developed and you're, you know, in the middle game, in a way. You don't have to rush into it. You don't have to. Anyway, let's play another game. Okay, let's play this guy who's 1277. Okay, let's try with the caro-kann again. We're gonna pre-move d5 because there's nothing that... Not sure about this. Okay, they are taking. Okay, they're exchanging. And bishop b5. I could play with bishop d7. I can play knight c6. Here. I guess on knight c6, he wants to play something like knight e5. I'm just going to play bishop d7. I think this move is a little bit premature in this opening because it doesn't do much. As you can see, I mean, I can just take queen d7. And what's the problem? I don't see any, so... Yeah, and just queen takes and just queen d7, and then it's fine. If he takes, I take with the knight, obviously. I'm not going to take with the king. But otherwise, if he retreats with the queen, I mean, he's just losing a tempo right here. So, okay. So now he's thinking about playing moves like this. Just develop. You need to think one move ahead. Honestly, if you think one move ahead and you're thinking, okay, I want to know basically what his threat is, my opponent, usually you're going to do much better. Much better. What is he thinking here? He's going to play something like this, maybe something like this, right? Yeah. Continue your development, and the first thing that you have to do, look, he castled, and you didn't. So I need to castle. I'm going to play e6. I threaten this one. This one can exit. Then the knight comes on f6, and I castle. Okay, so that was the idea. I go bishop d6. So he cannot play also bishop f4, which is good. It was a good square for his bishop. Now I go either knight e7 or knight f6. I would say knight e7 looks better for me, because knight f6 there is bishop g5, and he's threatening to double my pawns. So I'm just going to play knight e7 here. So he's going like this. I'm not sure I want to give him this bishop. So I'm just going to play this, and one day I'm just going to kick him, because who does he think he is? This knight, honestly. And then, you know, the game is pretty easy. Okay, so I believe I'm winning material by knight a5 here. He's going a little bit too fast, in my opinion. What happens on this? I'm not... knight a5, and then I grab the pawn on c4, right? And again, it's pawn moves. It's a theme that is actually coming back a lot already in our games. You have to be careful with the pawn moves, really. This is something that I see. So he's coming to a square where he loses another tempo, because when I'm taking, I'm attacking the queen again and the knight. That's not ideal, because now he has to play queen b3. Okay, so now he's giving us a piece. He's giving us a piece, and you're thinking straight away, okay, why? What did he see? If I take, he takes on g7, and I play rook g8. And what is the issue with this? He takes on h7, right? Perfectly fine. Just gonna take rook g8. He's gonna take on h7. What is he targeting? Something like knight g5, don't you think? And then he can play queen f7. That's what I'm thinking. That's the reason why I play this. Because I am defending basically f7 here. One day I can go on f5, for instance. Okay, he doesn't like it. And to be honest, on knight g5, I can always play basically this move, defending f7, right? So let's try to, when you're actually winning in the exchange, you try to exchange pieces, right? Remember this, yeah? So if he takes, now we're proposing an exchange with the bishop. If he takes, okay, he doesn't want to. I mean, it's perfectly fine here to take. I mean, his bishop is not threatening us, honestly. It's really not. And now I would love to actually exchange queens. I'm just thinking, maybe I could reroute the queen by playing queen e2, queen g4, and targeting this as well. Yeah, I think I like that. Queen e2. And now I'm threatening queen g4. And, you know, at least I can come back and just, you know, exchange queens, for instance. You know? But you have to, you know, don't let him just, you know, be there. It's just annoying. And there will always be like some threats. So you have to be careful about this. What happens here? Does this work? Knight h4? What do you think about that? Because queen takes, and, you know, there is a pin. And I'm thinking queen h4 with the ID queen f3 check. And then we can take the bishop. Does it work or not? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, kind of like it. We have 1 minute 40. So I have to be fast. What can he play here? I'm threatening this, right? And if he plays king h1, I play, if he plays this, I play mate in 2 moves. Queen f3 check, king g1, queen g2 checkmate. And also what I like about this move, I can always come back with the knight here. Okay, so now, can I play something better? Ooh, maybe there is something better. Queen h3. What do you think? I'm threatening checkmate. The pawn cannot take. But yes, you just need to calculate queen b5 check. You go on f8, there is no more check. So I guess queen h3 is the end of the game. Let me see. Yeah, I think queen h3 is the end of the game. He cannot do anything to actually, yeah, it doesn't change anything. All right. Yeah. That was, yeah, that was a better game from my opponent. Definitely better game. The way he played here. I would say bishop b5 is a little bit premature. As you can see, we don't have any problem and we're playing with black. When we go like this and we play queen d7, I think the position is already equal, which is not supposed to be when you're playing with black, right? So yeah, and look, I'm developing my pieces and I don't have any issue with development. Nothing. I'm just putting my, yeah, I finish my development once I castle. But okay, he decided to play this move again. Sorry, wow, what an arrow. So he decided to play the knight twice, which again wasn't great. Because look, you have to think, attacking pieces like a direct threat works, but not in this kind of position. I play bishop b8, and one day I just kick you. And you have to go back. And what did you achieve? Not much. My bishop on b8 is fine, because I want to castle this way. So you didn't achieve much. And if anything, you let me put the bishop on b8, and one day I will play maybe queen d6 with mating attacks. So careful. It's better to play like solid chess. You know, develop your pieces. What he should have thought about here is this one. This one was the problem, and try to actually develop it. You know, so you, and then put the rooks in the middle, you know, and act this way. This is the plan. By the way, another thing, you know, the way he played with the queen is very misplaced on b3. It's not doing anything, right? The queen should be more basically in this kind of rectangle. Okay, all right. Okay, now let's play someone who's a little bit stronger, who's 1785 elo. He decided to play d4. We play knight f6. We're gonna play something which is maybe King's Indian setup. So it's going to be easy. d6, bishop g7. when the guy plays, usually what he should play here is e4. Okay, this move is not great. He should basically play e4 here because I let him take the center. He should take it. Okay. Now you can either play castle, you can play d6, doesn't really matter. The fact, I'm thinking the fact that he didn't play e4, maybe I have this move now and I'm controlling e4. Yeah, I think I like that. Maybe I'm trying to exploit the fact that he didn't play e4 and now he cannot do it anymore. But you had to calculate a few things. His bishop is targeting c7, so you have to make sure that knight b5 doesn't work because he can take on c7 and forking these two. But yes, on knight b5, I had a defense, which is knight a6, and I'm defending c7 with the knight on a6. All right? Okay, so he's really going for the long castle here. Usually in the King's Indian, king goes this way. Why? Because you already damaged your structure here. When you put the king on this square, with this kind of structure, the king is a little bit too much open. And I'm going to be able to attack very easily. Usually in the King's Indian, black attack on the queen side, on the king side, sorry, and white attack on the queen side, but with the pawns, etc. They play this way, but not with the king over there. So let me see, maybe he doesn't want to put the king there. I mean, I'm just, you know. Should I take here? I don't think so, because he can play e4, and then bishop grabs the pawn, so I'm just gonna castle. Simple chess. You will see in all the games, I'm not doing anything. I mean, I'm just playing normal moves, total normal moves. Until a certain level, where you need more preparation, etc. People who have more than 2000 elo. Okay, that was his plan. He wanted to play this. He wants to exchange this bishop. If I take on h6, queen takes, and I take here, and the queen is attacking d4, should be fine. I'm just going to do this. And now I'm attacking d4. I don't think he has too much on the worst case scenario. I will have a move like knight g4 to actually kick him out. But, you know, I'm doing everything with tempo. He wanted to exchange the bishop, so let's do it. You know, why not? You know? Okay, so now he's giving a pawn. I don't think he has enough compensation. The king is really, really misplaced here. I'm targeting knight take e4 here. You see, it's a lot of pawn moves. Honestly, like between 1000 and 1800, I see a lot of issues that are pawn moves in the opening here. So he wants to play this. That's pretty clear. And then he wants to kick our knight, and then it's checkmate. What can we do about it? We can come back on c5, I'm thinking the first thing, because I want to exchange queens. This is what you should do when there is a mating attack. But if I play queen c5 and he plays e5, now I have knight g4. And the queen cannot stay here. So, yeah. Maybe I can play queen c5. And now if he plays e5, maybe I have even like other moves. But I would say like, oh, on e5, I have something very beautiful, which is queen takes f2. King takes knight g4, which is check. And then I get the queen back. You saw that? That's pretty cool, but to be honest, I didn't see it when I played queen c5. I just put it on a natural square. This is what happens. You have a lot of tactics when you just choose the best squares for your pieces. Okay? Now, if he plays knight g5, for instance, knight g5, yeah, okay, so we're gonna do it, right? Queen take f2. And if he takes with the king, knight g4 check, and we grab this one back. And now he doesn't have any attack. We exchange basically the queens. It's pretty amazing for us. You know, I don't like the fact that these ones are at home, so I just want to develop them. So now we took, and he's going to take, I guess, on c4, this way. And then I'm going to be playing maybe... What can I play here? Maybe I'm going to play something like knight c6. Oops. Knight c6, knight e5. Maybe. Okay. So that's a better move, actually. Okay. I mislooked, actually, this one by talking too much. So now he wants to take here, and he wants to take here, and we cannot defend both. Okay. I get it. Yeah, that's fine. But if I play knight a6, he plays bishop takes c4, and he's threatening to take my knight, and then knight takes c7. That's not great. Okay. But I have no choice. I have to play knight a6 here. So, okay, he has more activity than I thought, actually. I may lose against the 1700. From Sweden. Yeah, they are known to be aggressive. Okay. And now I was thinking c6, he has to take here. Obviously, if he takes the knight, I take his. I'm not going to take back. Now I go here. There is no more dark square bishop, so I like actually going on g7 here. Anyway, both squares are dark squares, so I don't know what I'm talking about, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, no, he takes. Okay, so now my structure looks like shit. Yeah. Okay, and then he's gonna take on c6. And now let's count the pawns. Oh, he decided to take the piece that is at home. Never do this. I mean, honestly, you should never think about taking a piece that never moved, first of all. Especially when you can grab a pawn for free. So, yeah, that's a mistake from him. He's making my life much easier by doing this. Much easier. His knight was much stronger than my bishop. What I don't like in this position, I tell you what it is. This one, he doesn't have any squares, like so annoying. Also, what he wants now, again, one move ahead. He wants to come to the 7th rank and actually bother me this way. So the first move I'm gonna play is this. Then most likely I will play this rook here to have the b file. This one I can play this, I guess. So now he's attacking c6. As I said, I'm going rook b1. And we're attacking this. And also one day, maybe we can defend the pawns, especially c6, by playing rook b6. And now I need to think about this one. He needs to come in the game, because I can never play a move like f6, because knight e6 check, and I lose the rook. So this is quite annoying. So that's why I come back with the knight here. And I'm thinking coming back on f6. And also, what it does is that now I can push him and kick him by playing h6. That's what I can do. Okay. He's attacking. Okay, let's see. We attack this one. I think it was about time. We can defend by playing knight e7 for this pawn, by the way. Yeah, we can. Or we can decide to actually not defend it. You know, in the endgames, what you can do is that you can decide to have like active pieces instead. So if I play rook b4, for instance, I'm threatening this one. He takes, I take. He takes, I take the pawn. He takes a6. I don't like this endgame. Okay, I don't like it. The problem is, if I play rook b6, he comes on knight d4, and I play knight e7. Yeah, I can play this. Knight e7 is fine, I think. But now he has in mind to play this. And maybe I can play f5. That would be funny. No. But maybe I can just push. If he has knight d4, I can just push, I guess. Okay, what does he want? I mean, this move is clearly not in the spirit of the position. I don't know what it achieves. I am not certain. I'm not sure at all. So he had basically to play a move like this. I don't know why he didn't do it. But yeah, so I'm gonna play rook b4. Now he cannot play a3 because rook take b3. Also, if he plays knight d4, maybe I have c5, and I'm attacking the knight. I don't know, I'm thinking about this. Let's see. But we're gonna try to make it a bit complex for him. 1785 these days is hard to beat, huh? It's not easy. He's playing very well. He's playing very well. That's good. Good game for him. I mean, we're still one pawn up. You know, we have to keep it. Maybe one day I can just do this, so I don't have these double pawns that are very annoying. I need to make sure that I keep this one. Maybe f5 is decent. I like f5. If he does knight takes c6, knight takes, rook take, rook take, rook take, and rook take e4, and king moves. The problem is he's attacking this now, but the worst case scenario, I will come back on e7 to protect this one. So that's not the end of the world. I think f5. I like it. I like this move. And maybe if he takes on c6, maybe I play knight d5 check. Because... no, really. Maybe g5. Maybe g5 is interesting as well. Let's try to go totally banana here. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting endgame for you guys. Yeah. I mean, he could defend the pawn, but yeah, by playing this. But that's not, I mean, yeah, he can. He can, definitely. Just gonna play this. This is a check. And then should we exchange rooks here? I'm not so sure about it. What do you think? Not certain. I don't like my pieces, to be honest. I mean, this one is really, really passive. I need to find a way to... Okay, let's go. He takes with the rook. I guess we exchange. If I go rook takes rook, king takes, and I have this problem. Like, these two pieces are super annoying. And I go a5. He cannot enter with the king. This is the good news, by the way. You know? That's the good news. I'm just gonna relieve the pressure, and I'm gonna play this. And he cannot enter with the king, which is good. He has to think about another way here. Maybe I can go like this, even if he decides to... I give him the pawn back, but... Okay, I get it. He could also play knight c4 now. This is what he has in mind. He's fixing it, and then knight c4 to take this one. He wants to come here and then grab here. Okay, and if he plays knight c4, maybe I will have knight c4, maybe I will have knight d5. Knight take a5. I can also play c5 here. Can I play c5? And he goes knight c4, attacking this. And I go knight c6. But, yeah. Not sure I like my position here. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard, because now he has knight c4. And I play knight c6, defending this. But still, he has king d5, attacking my knight. I go knight b4 check. Okay, so this, I'm pretty sure he shouldn't do it. Okay, he wants me to just take. Knight takes, and he's grabbing this for sure. Alright, I get it. And I have no choice anyway, right? So, we're just gonna take it. And now... we need to bring the king. He's gonna take this. I mean, that's certain. Okay. He should actually play king e5 here, instead of taking, in my opinion. Because now there is this. He's gonna go like this. I'm gonna defend, and he's gonna play king d5. And I go knight b4 check, he goes king c5. We have a big problem because these two pawns here are super weak. I'm just gonna lose to a 1785 on a stream. Really? Wow. Let's see. He's playing super well though, honestly. He's playing very well so far. So now what does he want? Okay, so now this, don't do this kind of moves. Because you cannot come here. You can only come to a6. Make sure that you don't lose your knights, you know? Be very careful. Because, you know, if I play this, you play check, I go here, you lose the knight. Because you come back, I go king b7. You saw that? I go boom, boom, boom. Yeah? And then you have no more squares. But, you know, he can still play. You know, he will have this kind of things, right? So, I mean, have to be careful about this. Okay. That's not easy as a game, but he's a little bit struggling a little bit more here, because I think he should have won this game pretty easily. What do you think? But, yeah. If he goes knight a6, I go king c6, I guess. Okay, so now we go here, and then he goes here, and then I go here, and then he comes back, or maybe, oh, he goes here. Maybe I have check, he goes here. It's already a draw, guys. It's already a draw. I'm pretty happy to come back from this game, honestly, you know? You gotta fight, guys. You gotta fight, because he's a draw, because I can just check. Let me show you. Check, because he has to keep and defend this. Or maybe he can play this. Yeah, he can. Actually, I can go here. But now it's totally different, the situation, because now I'm defending my pawns. So it's a little bit different. Let's go here. I'm targeting this, but also I'm targeting knight e3 to win this one because of the fork. He has to come very fast and try to to you know, to do this, sorry, and this. He has to. The question is, can he, without me having to go this way? It's going to be a race. Taking, boom, 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 boom. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Winning for black, that would be possible, but okay. So what is he doing now? No more check. And when he comes with the king here, I have a6 anyway, and he cannot come. So it's good to think about this. Okay, if I take here, what's the problem? I would rather take g2 actually. Oh, he wants to come on f7 with the knight, and he grabs one of these two. Okay, I get that. I get that. Yeah, that's a problem. If I take, by the way, what happens? Let's calculate together. King takes, and now king c6, king here, king c5, king here, king here, take, 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 h4, king here, h5, a4, h6, a3, h7, 2, queen, and he controls my promotion and he wins. Wow. Wow. Okay, I can't take the knight, obviously. I really can't take the knight. All right. The problem is, if I do check here, I'm just helping him to move the king. Maybe I can just take this one. I can just take this one and he goes knight f7. This is a problem. And I come back knight g4. What am I talking about? I can take. And then when he comes here, attacking both, I can just defend by playing knight g4. And I'm defending actually h6. But okay, he's still going to come with king here, etc. Okay, so now I don't understand. What happens on h5? That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Pawn takes, g4, g4. I'm threatening g3. But no, because h5, pawn take, g4, he has king e4. And he has time to come back. I go g3. He goes king e3. I go g2. He has king f2. So he controlled the promotion. That doesn't work. Okay, interesting. So now, I mean, situation is not great, honestly. What should I do in this? h5 takes g4. King e4. g3, king e3. And I can't even calculate this. I can't even like come with the king because he's going h6, h7, and queen. That doesn't work. What should I do here? Am I losing? Honestly, I'm not sure what I should do here. Let me just play this. Let's see what happens. But the problem is he has this. How am I defending here? Oh, I have an idea though. You know what I can do? Worst case, I can actually maybe sacrifice the knight against the pawn. That's what I can do. And then I'm pushing. Can I do something like that? Or this is crazy? Can I just take on g4? If I take on g4... Okay, so now, does this work? Take, boom. He goes here, boom, here, boom. Nope, he's still in the square. So that doesn't work. And if I take knight takes h5, let's say, I don't know, knight e5, g4, and when he goes back, I go h4, he goes back, I go here. That's interesting. You know what? I'm going to do it for the stream. How about that? Let's do it. Maybe we lose this way. Who knows? But at least that's pretty interesting. I just want to see this endgame. It's instructive, at least for you guys, right? Maybe that works. I don't know. And then I can play h5. What I know is that knights deal really badly with passed pawns. Really badly. So he will need the help of his king to come back at some point and control. But what I have in mind is that when he goes with the king, I can go and grab these. So let's see. Okay. So now if I go h4, he goes knight f3. He's attacking this. Okay. And if I go g4, what happens? Maybe what he can do is try to check me. Okay, so what does he want? He doesn't want me to play this. And if I play this, he comes back. I go here. Now he's gonna go here. He's controlling this. And he's attacking the pawn, so I will do this. Not sure. Maybe he wants this, actually. So now I cannot play this. Yeah, exactly. And now what happens if I play just this? What does he do? He goes with the king. I go. King, 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 king. He takes. I take. I'm not losing this. It's at least a draw. For sure. So yeah. I think we found a way to escape in this game. I can just play this. And I'm not sure how he progresses here. I'm really not sure. You'll tell me in the comments maybe what you think about this. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. I see that a lot of guys actually are watching without subscribing. You know, I'm gonna bring a lot more content for you guys. It's gonna be interesting. You should like put your notifications and know when, you know, I upload next videos. Yeah, and what happens here? Okay, we're gonna draw to a 1785. I mean, the guy played really well, honestly. Or I just played really badly. I mean, one of these two, you know? But yeah, okay, so he's going like this. Now we go king b6. And I'm thinking, because obviously he wants to win. He wants to win in this. But I'm not sure there is a win. I'm really not sure there is a win. But if he tries to force it by going with the king, he may lose. Because he goes here, I go here. He goes here, I go here. He takes, I take. Okay. So what are you trying to achieve? I'm not sure. Okay, king, 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 king. Then he goes toward the pawn. I take this. Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, he wants a draw, and I don't see how I can win this thing. So yes, we're gonna accept the draw and end the game. Okay, so that's a draw against the 1785. Wow. Very nice. Let me see the evaluation of this game. That would be funny, actually, to just see how it is. At the end, it's a draw. Yeah, it's a draw, guys. It's a draw. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Wow. Ah. Alright, guys, so what kind of mistakes have been played here? You know, d takes c4, computer is telling us it's not the best move. And instead, I should have played what kind of move? That's interesting. On queen h6, bishop f5 or c5. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Alright guys, I hope you liked this this episode. I'm gonna do more and we're gonna be playing stronger players than this. Next video is gonna be 1800 to 2000 yellow. Okay? And I'm gonna show you what kind of mistakes they make. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next episode.